On your mark. Get ready. It's time to go the distance. For sports news and sports review, get ready. It's The Pitch.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Pitch Sports Show. I'm your host John Fox, alongside here with Mike Peps Perrone and Mitch Sabbatelli. Now what we are, simple, we're a sports show. We do our best to analyze and break down everything in the sports world. Primarily, we'll be covering the top, the four main sports: baseball, football, basketball, and hockey. But anything that is relevant in the sports world, we will be sure to talk about. Now, the first topic of the day is daily news. Now, the Patriots re-sign Dante Hightower. Finally, it seemed like it took forever. 4 years, $43.5 million. Now, thoughts on this? We'll go to you first, Mitch.
Well, the Patriots do what they do, and they got Dante Hightower late in the first round a couple years back. Hightower was pivotal for the last three championships for the NFL. Obviously, he's converted himself from an outside linebacker to a mainstream middle linebacker, and really kind of harnessed the role as leader in that defensive club right now. And you see, I think the thing with Hightower, it's not even his skill, it's the fact that there was a major hole at the linebacker position, and to get him for just slightly over $11 million a year, I think it's a great deal. They let him test the free agency waters, and I believe the Jets gave him $14 million annually, but ultimately he wanted to come back home. I think it was a good deal for both sides.
I will say I don't think the Jets cupcakes present was good enough for Dante Hightower. And also the Steelers pretty much telling them, if you don't accept this offer now, then don't have an offer before you leave town, then don't bother coming back.
Definitely a good way to to approach players.
The good thing is he was very pivotal in the last Super Bowl game, especially with pretty much, I believe, to be the huge turning point, and the main reason why they won the Super Bowl was a defensive stop. Even if the offense did great, like they did afterwards, it was that huge strip sack that caused it all to turn around in their favor. He got the money he deserved, which is actually really nice, because the Patriots are usually not known for paying players at a high rate like that. So to know that they're very serious about taking this double dynasty to the next level with next year, with hopefully winning the Super Bowl, that I think that signing him and giving him $19 million guaranteed is exactly what they need to order up. So I think it was a great deal for him, especially, and a great deal for the Patriots. They've locked up another important defensive component to make a Super Bowl run. So I think it was a great deal for both sides.
And real quick too, I think the thing is with Hightower too, and like Peps just mentioned, they don't really pay the defensive, especially the defensive side of the ball, too much outside of maybe Adalius Thomas. I know they gave Vince Wilfork a little bit of an extension, but you see cornerbacks come and go: Ty Law, Asante, Darrelle Revis. But I think Dante Hightower, they kind of want to be that Teddy Bruschi type mainstay in the middle of the defense there. Middle linebacker is such a pivotal position with the run-stopping game, passing game, and mainly leadership, because it's kind of the quarterback of that defensive front. So I think that was a great deal.
He's a force. He's a force to be reckoned with. He'll be there for a while. So glad to have him.
Okay, moving on from daily news to the rest of the NFL's significant signings. We will stay with the Patriots, though. So the Patriots locked down cornerback Stephon Gilmore. It was a 5-year, $65 million contract. A 5-year, $65 million contract. Peps, we'll start with you. Thoughts on this signing?
I think it's great for the Patriots. They're usually not known, like I've said already, for especially going out and grabbing up their players that are worth a lot and looking for a big contract like that. But it shows me that they're really serious about going after another one. And they realize Brady's window is closing, and this defense is just going to get better. So when they locked up Gilmore, it kind of made me think they're going to lock up Hightower. They're serious. They're going to go after it. But I think it's great for both sides. Again, Hopefully plus especially with him playing on Buffalo, he knows Buffalo. He'll be playing them twice a year. He'll be playing in the, AFC East. He'll be playing 6 games, and he'll already have an idea of all the teams he's dealing with. So I feel like him adapting to New England will just happen naturally for him. So I think it's great, and hopefully he can play alongside Malcolm Butler. That would be nice, because I think that would round it out. So I think it's a great signing. $40 million guaranteed for him. Another nice lockdown contract for the Patriots.
Yeah, I think Gilmore, $14 million a year is very. It's not something Bill Belichick would do, and so obviously he's seen Gilmore, twice every year for the last 2 or 3 years here, and Gilmore has exponentially improved each of those last 3 years. And I think the big thing that they see with Gilmore is his physicality right towards the line of scrimmage. So within the first 5 yards, and it's similar to what Revis did, and even Butler. And we're going to talk about Butler a little bit later. But Stephon Gilmore, I know they've seen what he's done in the last 3 years. So they're hoping that with a better coaching staff in New England, they can fully, see that potential with Gilmore. Absolutely. And maybe live up to that $14 million and make him a top 5 cornerback. And I feel like cornerback, as far as defensively goes, is probably one of the most important positions, especially with it becoming a more passing game. You want to really shut out the opposing team's best option. And whether they have Butler or not, I think this creates some leverage for the Patriots. And if Butler ultimately does move, which again we will talk about, it does give you that shutdown corner. And now you finally see McCourty, Gilmore, Hightower, and now this line really coming to shape. So I think that defense is really kind of finding its core here. I love the deal. $40 million guaranteed, though. That's something Belichick doesn't do. And it's definitely the biggest signing since Adalius Thomas, in my opinion. But I love the move.
The window of opportunity is there, and he's gonna go take it now, or it's gonna be too late.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. All right, more Patriots signings, actually trades. Brandon Cooks of the Saints traded to the Patriots along with Kony Ealy. While we're talking about trades, we'll start off with Brandon Cooks first. Would you like to take this one? Thoughts on
I think it's great. I mean
23 years old.
Talk about no days off, talk about never being content. I mean, it's Belichick. I mean, 2 huge moves in the same day, and one of them was that Cooks trade. I mean, I think it's great for New England. I mean, it's great for Cooks because he can actually come to a place where he feels like he can maybe go get a championship. And he's not your typical wideout either, because he's very effective, he's very adaptable, he's a great route runner, and he's got some ridiculous speed. Yeah. And I mean, I think that's just going to be such a compliment on a deep threat, compared to you got Edelman and Hogan crossing, and then you got him going deep. And then you got Gronk back healthy. I mean, and then it's just that offense is like you said, just ridiculous. I mean, I think having him is just probably the biggest signing I think so far. I believe, and it's just shows the Patriots are never content, and it just shows why they're the best.
Further thoughts on Brandon Cooks?
Yeah, I definitely think this is Patriots going all in, and I think you've seen this back when it was back in 2007, and when they went and got Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Adalius Thomas, list goes on and on, Kyle Brady. The one thing that I love about Brandon Cooks is that he is that outside threat. Now you pair him alongside with Chris Hogan on the outside, who emerged as one of the better outside threats in the game. Now Brady, the one thing that nobody is really talking about is the fact that this is going to open the field up for Edelman and hopefully prevent Gronk from being injured. So if you have those outside threats, Hogan and Cooks, not only is it going to give Brady another look and hopefully get some more extra yards downfield, but it's also going to open up some more room, and maybe there'll be less double teams on Edelman and Gronkowski. And Edelman's getting up there in age now, so you don't want to have him get all those hits. I know what Wes Welker has had late in his career with all the concussions. But I think a lot of people don't notice, too, you talk about the Patriots, and it was a great, great comeback to win that Super Bowl, and they rolled over Pittsburgh. But what about the first half of the Patriots, and what about the Houston game? Houston really shut down that close, 10 to 15 yard game there, and then Atlanta did that as well until they finally started opening up the field a little bit and put the ball back in Brady's hands. So I think now that they're getting a little bit more of an outside game, and with the game of evolving a little bit, and the fact that he is only 23 years old, I think it's a perfect move for Cooks.
Oh yeah.
And again, if you if you see all of our options here with Cooks, Gronkowski, Edelman, Hogan, Amendola, this guy's
Mitchell.
If you have a 5 wideout set right now with those 5, you have Dwayne Allen and Malcolm Mitchell still on the bench. So that just goes to show you how good the step is.
You got Lewis and White in the backfield too.
Yeah, and you can't play this guy.
And now we've also, since we're talking about the Patriots signings, we'll talk about Rex Burkhead also. I mean, you don't really know a lot about was last year his first season or second?
No, I believe it was second. It was definitely his best season. It might have been either
towards
second
the
or
end,
thard.
especially. He exploded.
He was
Especially
great.
Cincinnati.
Kind of reminds you of a little bit of a Peyton Hillis type there, a little bit. But I think they paid him like a starter, so I don't know. We're going to translate a little bit into LeGarrette Blount here, but Rex Burkhead, he definitely emerged onto the scene. Definitely looks like a Belichick type player. Blount has been that guy for ages now. You had Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, another big Patriot guy. They like guys who don't fumble. Rex Burkhead doesn't fumble. That's why they hated Stephen Ridley, because he'd make a great play and then he'd fumble the ball. LeGarrette Blount did have some fumble issues in the playoffs this year. In the Super Bowl too, and that's why they started putting the ball more into Brady's hands, and that's how we got, that big comeback. So I think they definitely want ball security is the main thing with Bill Belichick. Definitely goal line play. So if we do lose Blount, White emerged onto the scene, and Dion Lewis is now healthy. So I think Rex Burkhead, if we do lose Blount, is fine. But Burkhead, a lot of people don't know this, is really, really good on special teams too. So I think it ultimately means the end for Brandon Bolden.
Yeah, we need that for special teams.
So I like it.
We'll stay with you. Further talks of the Kony Ealy trade to the Patriots. Thoughts on this? Yeah,
I love what Belichick's doing here, and everyone's always criticizing him about how he never makes, always stockpiles these picks, and never really makes these picks. Now, he's basically doing the draft a month in advance here because his first-round pick was Brandon Cooks, and his second-round pick was Kony Ealy. So people always talk about how, now Belichick's not going to have any players to draft. These were his draft picks. Basically, he took Cooks in the first round. He took Ealy in the second round. Ealy's a great pass rusher. They just lost Chris Long as well as Jabal Sheard, who, with the Patriots coaching staff, were able to take the most out of. And I see Kony Ealy, you saw him emerge onto the scene. I know he sacked Peyton Manning 3 times in that Super Bowl 2 years ago and picked him off. Had the Carolina Panthers won that game, everyone would have known who Kony Ealy was because he was going to win the Super Bowl MVP that year. So I know Belichick saw that. I know Kony Ealy, has been on social media recently praising what the Patriots have done. I don't know if that, I know Belichick's never does social media, but maybe he's heard something about that, about how he likes the organization, respects the organization. And for a second-round pick for a guy that could put up 10 to 12 sacks in the Patriots organization, I think it's a great, great move.
I think it's a perfect compliment to how they just added Gilmore, and then you re-upped Hightower. I mean,
Alan Branch as well.
Branch too. I mean, they're stacking the box. They're coming after the quarterback. I mean, they're going to get aggressive, and that defense is going to be even better than it was last year, I think. Plus, they locked up Harmon too for 4 years for $20 million. So that's good. I mean, I think that it's only going to help. He was on the 15-1 Carolina Panthers team, and they were that good for a reason. Him being a huge part of it also. So I mean, any addition of that, magnitude is awesome to have.
Yeah, definitely.
No.
All right, well, we'll talk about pretty much the most concerning topic is the deal with Malcolm Butler.
Yeah.
Now, he's an unrestricted free agent, and he's very unhappy with the Patriots right now in their non-attempt to pay him.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. We'll give this one to you first, Mitch.
And the thing is with a restricted free agent, you can sign him to a tender, and the Patriots always go by the book and try to stay with the system or whatever. So they're going to give him the first round tender. Now the thing that makes this interesting is the Saints want Malcolm Butler, but they just traded Cooks and got our 32nd pick. So they cannot trade that 32nd round pick back until he does sign a deal and officially becomes a Saint, so that make it a sign and trade. Now, the Patriots, because they signed that tender, if they do get a trade, get the Saints' 11th pick back, which is huge. So therefore, Cooks would have been traded for an 11th pick. They would get Cooks and the 11th pick for Malcolm Butler and a third. So that would be a great, great move in like 2 moves in one. with Stephon Gilmore, it does give you some leverage, and the fact that you do have a shutdown corner in case Butler leaves. But I really want Butler to stay for a couple reasons, because he kind of symbolizes the whole Patriot way. You know, some guy they find off the scrap heap on the road, they bring him in for a couple tryouts. He impressed everyone, and eventually, you know, the whole Butler go play when they gave Butler the chance, and the rest was history with the big catch. And after that catch, you know, that's when he really emerged onto the scene as a top cornerback.
Two-time Super Bowl champion now.
Yeah, and that's what I think they're trying to do with Gilmore, and try to use that coaching staff to make him even better. So maybe the thing with Butler is they've already maxed out that potential, and they know that he's probably not worth that $14 million. But I don't know. The one big thing I am hearing. What is the
actual deal that he's looking for?
His
agent is looking for.
Well, the thing is, he's not upset with the Patriots. The Patriots aren't upset with Butler. It's the agent that the Patriots dislike. The agent is.
Belichick wants that.
Belichick does not like Malcolm Butler's agent. So Butler has said he wants to remain a Patriot. He wants to remain a Patriot. But the agent wants to get paid too, and he sees that Gilmore deal and says, okay, he's a $14 million. Yeah, well, not just a slap in the face, but I want that $14 million too. So I think ultimately, I don't think Butler's going to be here long term. I think you would have seen something by now. And now with the Dante Hightower signing, I think that ultimately, sadly, ends the Malcolm Butler days here.
I completely agree. I mean, the fact that they added Gilmore just kind of spoke for itself in my mind, is that they are not going to plan on having him stick around, especially with all these issues going on. I mean, the thing is, like, it's kind of bad for both sides, because if he has to agree to a contract and bring it back to the Patriots, and then they have to necessarily have it be like a sign and trade kind of thing.
Right.
Otherwise, they will lose that pick. So it's not a good situation really for anybody right now. But I mean, essentially, if Butler wants to get paid, it's not going to be New England. So I mean, I have a bad feeling that he's going to be out. But I mean, hey, you know, that's part of the business, and you know, you move on.
All right, let's talk about, where do you think LeGarrette Blount will end up? Do you think he will ultimately end up re-signing with the Patriots, or do you think he will go somewhere else?
The rumors I heard was that he did want to remain a Patriot, and the Patriots wanted to keep him. But I think Rex Burkhead, and the whole thing with the Patriots coaching staff is they really find the best potential with guys that aren't making that much money. And I think he's basically taking over for Blount here. They've let him go before in the past. You know, he had a great playoff run, and then they let him go to the Steelers. He had that drug problem, and then he got cut, and then they brought him back, and he even got better. Now, Blount got 18 touchdowns last year, but a lot of those were at the goal line, and those could have been put into Brady's hands. Not to take anything away from LeGarrette Blount, but it's not like he is busting out, 30, 40-yard runs for 18 touchdowns.
There's definitely a team out there for him, and I think that perfect team is a team like the Detroit Lions, because they're so pass happy. They have Amir Abdullah, who's a fast running back, but he's coming back from being hurt. And I think adding someone like Blount's only going to help, because you know what they need? They need a clock mover. Yeah. They don't have a clock mover. They spend so much time having to, like 8 to 10 games, I think almost every game in the first half of the season at least, if not in the later half of the season, they were behind in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I just don't see how him coming back to New England's going to fit, especially with you saying signing Burkhead. I think he's going to go to a team like Detroit or maybe even the New York Giants. But I think the Lions.
That's a great move, too, because with Stafford, when Stafford lost Megatron last year, he became more of the Brady type, scanning the box, looking for the best option. So I mean, if he doesn't see that, he needs a guy who can hold the ball and doesn't drop the ball.
He needs versality in the running back.
Number one team that you wouldn't want to see Blount go to, that would make them dangerous.
Well, not make them dangerous. I don't know. I mean, the teams that need a running back that are,
I'd say the Giants.
Giants,
They don't have a power back.
They lost Rashard Jennings, right?
The Giants have had nobody.
They lost Perkins.
Yeah, and I think Blount would be perfect for them, because obviously I think Eli is the leader as far as, they want to pass the ball. They want to pass the ball.
And now
he's on a decline.
Brandon Marshall to complement Odell Beckham.
And Sterling Shepard, too.
The Giants also see that Eli's window's closing, I think, too.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Blount knows how to take that back seat and knows how to be the second fiddle. He doesn't need to demand the ball. He's great in the goal line. So I would love either of those moves. And I don't think as a Patriot fan, I don't mind Blount going to the Giants. As an NFL fan, I think that would be a great move.
Yeah, I mean, Blount, he doesn't really pose a threat in my mind as much.
Nope.
Okay, moving on, but staying with the Patriots, the last Patriots topic. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah,
okay, we'll give this one to you, Peps. Where do you think Jimmy Garoppolo will end up ultimately?
I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I really don't think there's any, I don't think there's any good deal really out there. I think the Patriots are just going to hold on to him, and I really think that that's the best option, especially say something, God forbid that something happens to Brady in the first half of the year. You have a capable backup quarterback who can be a starter in this league. He's proven it. I know it's only been, 2.5 games, but he had great numbers, and I mean, with Belichick behind him, I think he could mold anyone into a great quarterback. And I think Garoppolo is the next coming after Brady. And I think that they should keep him because I don't think anything that even a team like the Browns can offer is really worthy of what the Patriots want. I don't think they're going to get what they want from him. And so I think the value of keeping him is a little bit more. But if they go one more year and they don't get rid of him, or they don't have something happen with that, then I think that's a huge mistake if they don't do something after this season. That comes
well,
up.
yeah, because basically they'd be paying like $45 million for 2 quarterbacks, one to just sit.
I just don't think getting rid of him is a good move right now.
And I think this is why everyone really hates the Patriots. We're so good that our biggest problem is that we have too many good quarterbacks and what to do with them. I think the fact that we have Garoppolo speaks volumes about what Peps has said about the coaching staff. And if I'm in Garoppolo's shoes, it's easy to say as a Patriots fan, keep Garoppolo in case Brady gets hurt. But Garoppolo wants to get out there and he wants to get paid. He's won already 2 rings in 3 years here. Basically, not that he's done much for the team except for the first couple of games there. But he's established himself as a viable backup and wants to prove himself as a starter. So I think he ultimately in the back of his head wants to be a Patriot, but knows that Tom Brady is going to be here for a couple more years. I think what the Patriots need to do is really discuss with Tom Brady, listen, do you have 2 to 3 more years left? Now, I think Garoppolo would be willing to wait maybe 2 to 3 years to eventually take the torch away from Brady. Anything over that, he wants to get out of here and he wants to be a starter.
He's still getting paid, though.
Yeah. But
a lot of money.
But I'd be willing to, franchise him that money. If I know that he's going to be our quarterback after Brady's gone, I'd pay him, and we have this cap space for that. But the one team that everyone thinks that Garoppolo's going to is the Cleveland Browns. They are stacked with picks. They've actually traded to get another pick and took on Brock Osweiler to do so. I believe they have 3 second-rounders and 3 first-rounders in the next 2 years. So I don't think they're going to be able to get the number 1 pick from him. But Adam Schefter, as great as he is, I heard him say that if a team out there would offer the Patriots 4 first-round picks, we want to take that. I think that would be asinine. I would take Jimmy Garoppolo for a first and second.
I agree.
Okay, it seems we're winding down on time here, and I don't think we might get to talk about it. But it's very big news in NFL, and we'll go right to the next top signing, I believe. Martellus Bennett signs with the Green Bay Packers. Peps, thoughts on this?
I think good for Martellus Bennett. And the Packers because they need a tight end. They had Cook, but I don't think Cook's near the physical specimen that Bennett is. I think it's good for Aaron Rodgers. You go from Brady to Rodgers. Who could ask for a better transition? It's 2 of the best quarterbacks to play in the NFL. Give
Rodgers more weapons. He just lost Eddie Lacy. They moved Ty Montgomery to running back. They're going to get, they know that he's won in the Super Bowl. He can win. He has that experience. Give him another option in the middle. Now pair him with Devontae Adams and Jordy Nelson. Yeah. I like that move, and I do like it from Martellus Bennett. Pulling a Revis, gets his money, gets his championships, and move on.
Okay, I think that pretty much sums up, free agent signings this far. Because pretty much it's all been the Patriots.
Yeah.
Eddie Lacy moving
over. There's just a few.
Brandon Marshall's a big one.
Yeah, Brandon Marshall, Eddie Lacy. What was the contract with Seattle?
It was a 1 year, 5.5, and there's also a thing in the clause that if he keeps the weight off, he gets an extra $350K.
There you go.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, moving on. Possible destinations for still top free agents. Adrian Peterson. Who would like to take this one first? Where do you think he will go?
I think he's going to go to. I truly believe he could go to a team like I've said before, the Lions. They got Abdullah, but if he could work under someone like Adrian Peterson for a year or 2, he could be even better, and that would help Matthew Stafford so much, and also being able to stay in the NFC North. Another thing is I think he could also go to Minnesota, back to Minnesota, because they don't really have a running back. But it would be, I think, between those 2 teams in the NFC North, and then also possibly he could go to Seattle, the Packers, or even Detroit. But I see him either going back to Minnesota or going to like a team like Detroit or something like that.
I'm going to go on a limb and say he signs with Oakland. They just lost Latavius Murray. Derek Carr established himself as an MVP candidate. They have the passing game. If you take AP and put that into that team, a winning organization right now from last year, and take some pressure off of Derek Carr coming off of injury, I think that would be a match made in heaven. I would love to see Adrian Peterson in Oakland.
All right, quick. Somebody take it. Tony Romo.
I'll take it real quick.
Where will he end up ultimately?
He's either going to end up in Houston or Denver. Either one, I hate to say the fact that Tony Romo makes you a contender. I think whoever gets Tony Romo becomes the second best team in the AFC.
I don't think that Denver will take that gamble.
Yeah, they won't. I think he's going to end up in Houston.
I think his best scenario to win now, I feel like the perfect fit for him would be the Kansas City Chiefs.
They have Alex Smith.
Yeah, but I think he could be better than Alex Smith.
I don't know if that's going to
happen. I don't think Alex Smith's getting it done. That's why they haven't gotten to the next level. I think it's because of
too much of a game manager. But that's a big change going from a game manager to
I mean, Kansas City or Denver. That's
the thing with Tony Romo is that team was built to have a gunslinger with Brock Osweiler. So I think it would transition perfectly. And he's already lives in Dallas. His family's from Dallas. That's not too much of a move from Dallas to Houston. I love that move.
Yeah, they're going to be stuck in the same position they were last year, though.
All right, very quick. We're going to end the show with some quick NBA. NBA thoughts. In the East, who can contend with Cleveland right now?
I don't think that. I mean, to be honest, I love to say the Celtics, obviously. I love the Celtics, and I love Boston. I mean, it's just, I don't think they can do it. I don't think Toronto can do it either. I think there's the only other team I think that has a chance with the potential to do it. I think the Washington Wizards have a chance to compete, but I really don't see anybody beating Cleveland. I think Cleveland's got the easiest cakewalk of any of the teams in the NBA. I just don't, compared to last year, they're going to, it's an easier cakewalk this year. I don't see how they don't make it.
Real quick, Toronto was looking really good when they got PJ Tucker and Serge Ibaka at the deadline, but Kyle Lowry getting hurt with the injury really took a back seat. As much as I love to see Boston get there, the second best team in the East right now is Washington Wizards with John Wall, Bradley Beal, Otto Porter emerging, and then having Marcin Gortat.
Very quickly, would you agree with him?
I agree with them absolutely.
Washington,
I think Washington. I also think when it comes to the, this is my surprise kind of thing with the West is I really believe that the San Antonio Spurs are the best all-around team in the West, and I think that they're going to be able to oust Golden State. I think this is their year. I'm tired of this Cleveland Golden State back and forth. I think it's about a team like that to step up and give the real balance of power and take over the league.
I think it's going to be Golden State versus Cleveland rematch again. But
all right, very quickly, just shout out names. MVP race winner.
It's Russell Westbrook, but I think it should be Kawhi Leonard.
I think it should be Russell Westbrook and should be Russell Westbrook in general because he's averaging 32 points a game, 10.5 rebounds and 10 assists. Yeah. I mean, that's numbers that go back to legends in the NBA and couldn't even do that.
And averaging close to 25, 30 points. Best defensive point. It's close.
All right, so that pretty much concludes our first episode of the Pitch Sports Show. Just want to throw a shout out before we end. Thank you, Saugus Cable TV, for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. And we're going to be a bi-weekly show, so every 2 weeks we're going to be getting you a show. This one was primarily NFL signings, everything NFL, because it's just everything is,
Big baseball show next time.
A lot going on.
Yeah. All right, until next time, have a good one, guys.